She is one of the most prominent of African writers, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Born in Nigeria, she divides her time between her birthplace and the United States, where she completed her education. An award-winning novelist, a playwright and a poet, her stock is set to rise further with the release of the Hollywood treatment of her Orange Prize-winning novel, Half of a Yellow Sun. It stars Tandy Newton and is set in the Nigerian Biafran War of the late 1960s.
Stop it. Nothing will happen to you.
I know nothing will happen to me. I just really want you to marry me. We should marry. No longer makes sense. Never made sense.
You'll have to take one to my father then.
Is that a yes?
Yes. It is a yes.
Chimamanda's latest novel, Americana, mirrors some of the experiences and divisions of her own life. It's a tangled love story set in two countries that immerses itself in race, immigration, and the power of hair. I asked her first, though, why she made so much of the complex relationship between two of the most central characters.
Because that's what happens in life, isn't it? I mean, I think, you know, we love, don't we? We love, well, I don't know about other people, but I think that human beings have the ability to love different people in different ways, and sometimes even at the same time. So Ifemelu has a different kind of love for Obinze, right? But then she goes to the US and life goes on and you meet people and she finds a different kind of love. And I think that it's a relationship that makes her grow. So I think it's very important for her, you know, for her becoming fully herself.
Is it a more superficial love, given the pace of America?
I think maybe the difference is that it's easier when you share the same culture. Because then when you don't...
But it's more intoxicating when you don't.
There's something, there's a heightened sense when you don't. Because now there's the layer of sort of... It's not...
mystery.
Yeah. The exotic, the unknown, the sort of learning about something entirely new because you love somebody else. And I think she has that with her American boyfriend.
But if you can stage these love affairs in these two such different worlds, why is immigration such a problem? Why is the experience of race so testing when it's possible, as you describe in your book?
I think that the way that America is set up makes it really difficult for people of different races, particularly white people and black people, to connect. You know, that there's such a segregation, and not just in the way people live, but in the way people think about race. So I think that's why. But you find that when people...
But it's a very multicultural society in Lagos too, for example, or in Nigeria,
but it's a
elsewhere.
different thing, though. It's a different thing. And this is why when I talk about race, what I mean, maybe we should change the terminology and talk about skin color. Because by race, I don't mean ethnicity.
I thought we wanted to stop talking about skin color.
No, we can't stop talking. I mean, this is the other thing I think this book is about, the idea that there's no such thing as color blindness. I think it's, you know, I think it's just a... I think that to insist on color blindness is somehow to refuse to engage, because, I mean, skin color really affects the way people experience the world, and we can't deny that, right? But I think when I say that, what I mean is that sometimes people conflate race and ethnicity. So in Nigeria is very diverse, but not racially diverse. I mean, not skin color diverse. We're ethnically diverse, and that has its own challenges, but in some ways it's quite different from race.
I can't avoid the obsession with hair, partly because I share it. I mean, my mother didn't have any hair. She suffered from alopecia totalis, which means you have none at all. And you are obsessed with hair, straight hair, box braids, cornrows, dreadlocks, afros, twists, raucous curls, kinky coils, and TWAs, teeny-weeny afros. Where is all the... Well, I can see that you have very interesting construct there. Where does it come from?
I don't know. Wait, but did your mother wear... So she wore a wig?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did she wear different wigs, or did she sort of wear the same wig, and did she...
She had several wigs, and they would have to go away to be reconfigured from time to time and come back. In brown boxes, which we were never told what was inside.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So people didn't know that it wasn't her hair?
No.
That's interesting.
But that is your hair. Well, part of it may not be.
I see you know a bit about black hair. The tips are not. The tips are, it's what's called Afro-kinky hair.
That's Afro-kinky?
Yeah.
But it's very interesting that so many elements of you are
Yes.
woven into this book.
Yes.
And hair is absolutely one inescapable factor, isn't it?
Yes.
And are you somehow a lesser woman if you don't go for this kinky whatever?
Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. But I did want to write about hair because it's not just, it's hair, and I'm interested in hair on just the sort of very hair level, but also just...
Is hair a conversation?
It's a political thing.
Is it?
It is.
A statement?
Black women's hair is political.
Are you
And
making a statement?
I don't intend to, but I do.
You have it imposed on you, the statement.
You really do. By walking in somewhere with my hair like this, people make assumptions. They're immediate assumptions. If my hair isn't straight, people can assume that you're either, they might think you're an angry black woman, or they might think you're very soulful, or they might think you're an artist, or they might think you're vegetarian. There are all kinds of things that
Or somebody likes a lot of time in the hair salon.
that too. Well, but no, the straight hair requires a lot of time as well. But, I'm just interested in hair as a means of talking about other things. What does society tell us is beautiful? Because, you look at women's magazines, and these things matter. These things matter. And we look at what's on television, and what does sort of the larger society say is beautiful? It's straight hair. And so you have young girls who are growing up with that in their heads. And it's something that I want to talk about and want to address and want to challenge.
Never knew all that. What a lot you learned in an interview with a great writer. And you can see a longer version of that interview on our website. Just go to channel4.com/news.